I haven't filed in years. Is the IRS going to put me in jail? I hear some version of that almost every week. Sometimes it's 3 years, sometimes it's a decade. One gentleman sat across from me and admitted he hadn't filed since the Clinton administration and another since before I was born. And every one of them is carrying the same weight, this low, constant dread that someday there's going to be a knock on the door. Let me tell you the truth about unfiled returns. Not the scary version, not the sugar-coated version, the real one. Because after 32 years of cleaning these up, I can tell you the nightmare in your head is almost always worse than what's actually waiting for you. First, the question everybody's really asking, is not filing a crime? Technically, yes. Willful failure to file a tax return is a misdemeanor. On paper, each year you didn't file is its own separate count. Now here's the part the late night radio ads won't tell you, and the part that panic in your head ignores. The IRS almost never prosecutes ordinary non-filers. Criminal cases are expensive, they're slow, and they're reserved for the people the government wants to make an example of. The ones who hid income, lied, built structures to conceal money. If you simply got behind, if you got overwhelmed, if life happened, you're not who they're looking to put in a courtroom. The IRS wants one thing from you far more than it wants a conviction. It wants you filing and paying again, and that's it. They're a collection agency with a badge, not a prosecutor's office, at least not for the vast majority of people sitting where you are. Let's set aside the jail fear, because for almost everyone watching, that's not the real problem. Here's the real problem. When you don't file, the IRS doesn't just forget about you. Eventually, their computers notice. They have your W-2s, your 1099s, every form anybody filed under your Social Security number, and at some point they file a return for you. It's called a substitute for return. And here's the part most people miss. That substitute return is designed to be as bad as legally possible for you. The IRS files you as single or married filing separate, whichever is worse. They give you the standard deduction and nothing else. No dependents, no business expenses, and no cost basis when you sold stock or property. So they tax the entire sale as if it were pure profit. I've seen substitute for returns show a man owing $80,000 on a year where once we filed the real returns with his actual deductions, he owed closer to $9,000. The IRS number wasn't a mistake. It was the system doing exactly what it's built to do when you stay silent. It bills you the maximum and it waits. And once that substitute for return is assessed, the machine wakes up. Now you get the notices, then the lien, then the levies, your bank account, your paycheck, all of it. All of it built on a number that was never real. Now some of you are thinking, I'll just wait it out. The IRS only has 10 years to collect, right? Let the clock run. Careful, that 10-year collection clock doesn't even start until the tax is assessed. And on an unfiled year, nothing is assessed until you either you file or the IRS files that substitute return for you. So not filing doesn't run the clock in your favor. It just leaves the door wide open indefinitely for the IRS to walk in whenever it wants and bill you at the worst possible number. Waiting doesn't make this expire. Waiting makes it grow. Okay, enough of the bad news. Here's where it turns, and this is the part that finally lets people breathe. You probably don't have to file 20 years of missing tax returns. As a matter of its own internal policy, the IRS generally looks for the last 6 years of returns to consider you compliant. 6. Not every year back to the beginning of time. There's some discretion in it, and unusual cases can go further. But for most people, getting current means 6 years, not a lifetime of paperwork. And filing those real returns is usually the single most powerful move you can make. Because remember those inflated substitute for returns? When you file the actual return with your real deductions, your real filing status, your real basis, you replace that monster number with the truth. I've watched six-figure assessments collapse to a fraction once the real returns went in. We didn't negotiate it down. We didn't argue. We just told the truth, and the truth was a lot cheaper. Here's another reason waiting costs you, and this one's money straight out of your pocket. If any of those unfiled years actually had a refund coming to you, and plenty of them do, you only have 3 years from the original due date to claim it. Miss that window and your money's gone. It doesn't roll forward. It doesn't sit in an account waiting for you. It goes to the Treasury and you'll never see it again. So for every year you wait, you may literally be handing the government money that was yours to keep. And there's one more reason this matters, especially if you watched my other videos on offers and compromise or currently not collectible or payment plans. None of those are available to you until you're compliant. The IRS will not settle with you. It will not give you a payment plan. It will not put you in hardship status while you still have unfiled tax returns hanging out there. Filing isn't just cleanup, it's the key that unlocks every other option. Nothing else matters until you're current. How do you actually come back? The right way, not the way that makes it worse. First, you pull your IRS transcripts. The IRS already has most of what you need, every W-2 and every 1099 reported under your name, sitting in your wage and income records. We use those to rebuild years you thought were lost forever. People panic about missing paperwork from 2019. Half the time the IRS has it and we just go get it. Second, you file the real returns, all of them, accurately. This is where you take back control of that number. Third, once you're current, you deal with whatever balance is actually left on real terms. A payment plan you can afford, a settlement if you qualify, hardship status if that's where you are, and one serious warning, if you've got real exposure, large amounts, years of cash income, anything that could look intentional, don't call the IRS yourself and start explaining. Get representation first and let your returns do the talking. Coming in voluntarily the right way is what keeps a paperwork problem from ever becoming a criminal one. Talking too much to the wrong person before you're ready is how people turn a manageable mess into a real one. Here's what I want you to take from this. Unfiled returns feel like a cliff. They're almost never a cliff. They're a problem with a known repeatable fix. 6 years, real numbers, then a resolution. The dread is the worst part, and the dread ends the day you stop hiding from it. The people who lose are the ones who let substitute for returns pile up and the levies start. The people who win are the ones who decide today to get current before the IRS decides for them. In all these years, I've never once had a client tell me what they wish they had waited longer to deal with it. Not one. If you're behind, whether it's by a year or by a decade, let's talk. We'll pull your IRS transcripts, figure out exactly how many years you really need to file, and get you current and protected before the IRS makes the first move. Knowledge is protection. Let's get you protected. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.